Welcome back to Precalculus. We are going to be showing how to graph a quadratic function in general form. Now, just to put it symbolically, a quadratic function is in general form when it's written as ax squared plus bx plus c. There is a technique called completing the square that can allow us to rewrite a quadratic function in general form, in vertex form, but for today, we're just going to learn how to graph in this form. So our function is g of x equals negative 3x squared plus 12x plus 16. Now you may remember from previous math classes that we can find the x value of the vertex, or the axis of symmetry, by using the formula x equals negative b over 2a. Now think for a moment, where else have we heard negative b and 2a come up in the same formula? So you may remember that our quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So when we get rid of this part, the discriminant, we get our formula for the vertex. That's because if you think of a quadratic function that has two zeros, right between them is going to be our vertex. And so that is what our quadratic function is, or quadratic formula is helping us to see. So if we finish plugging this in, we have negative 12 over 2 times negative 3. Our denominator becomes negative 6. And negative 12 divided by negative 6 is going to be positive 2. So this is the x value of our vertex. To find the y value of our vertex, we need to evaluate our function g of x at 2. So take a moment while I work this out up here, pause the video, evaluate it yourself, and then we'll come back together. That's negative 3 times 2 squared, 4, plus 2 times 12 times 2 is 24 plus 16. So that's going to be 12 plus 24 plus 16. These add up nicely. 30 to 40, and so 52. Okay. So hopefully you've got that all figured out. Hopefully I didn't make any arithmetic mistakes. But if my math holds correctly, and I don't think it does, because I realized I did make a mistake. I should have negative 3, but I wrote down positive 3. So negative 3 times 2 squared is 4. 2 times 12 is 24 plus 16. So this is negative 12 plus 40. And that should give us 30, 28. All right, so our vertex is the point 2, 28. And now as before, we're going to evaluate a couple points on either side. So we'll have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I know the vertex is 228. When I plug in 1, I have negative 3 plus 12 plus 16. These give us 9 plus 16, and that is 25. And when I plug in 0, well, these first two terms just cancel out, so I get 16. Now remember, our axis of symmetry is at the vertex. So if we can go to smaller numbers, 28, 25, 16, going to larger numbers, we'll have 28, 25, 16. And this gives us a complete table. Now it's worth remembering that notice that a is a negative number, negative 3. So that means our parabola is going to open downwards. So let's draw this graph out here. Again, we have all positive numbers and 0, so I don't need to have more than the first quadrant. So let's go up to 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I have to get all the way up to 28. So let's count by 4s again. So that would be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and just barely we'll get to 28. All right, so at 0, we go up to 16. At 1, we go up to 25. 25 is going to be slightly higher than 24. Then at 2, we come up all the way to 28. 3 brings us back to 25. And 4 brings us right back up to 16. And now that we have our points in place, we can complete our parabola. I'll point out right about there. So as before, once we have that vertex, we can create a table that will allow us to fill in the parabola. And this is how we would graph a parabola written in general form.